everybody.
You're not.
Okay, we're not. Now we're live. Okay. Well, hello, everybody. This is going to be an experience here. So I don't know if we have any other viewers yet, but we'll do our gosh darn best to take care of you guys here. We're going to do our gosh darn best to. Oh, yeah, let's turn that other device off. Okay. I want to thank anybody who's tuning in or will tune in on the restream if it reaches a good enough quality to be put out there. But I thought I'd wrap up the year with something a little different. And this is really for you guys, my viewers. I'll do my best to answer any questions that you may have as it relates to being a Walmart truck driver. Today, we can go in any direction. I don't really have a specific, program we're going to talk to. Looks like we got somebody new there. Okay. AG, how you doing? Thank you for showing up here. I really appreciate it. I'm super nervous. I got more than enough material to talk about on any given day, but I kind of lock up when we get on the camera and everything, or I'm a horrible actor. But if this format proves to be successful, I will consider doing it more often. I wish this was actually a phone line where I could talk in person, but we'll do the best we can with the chat here. And like I said, I'm not real tech savvy. My wife and I managed to cobble this together somehow, and we'll give it a whirl. So a little bit about me. I've been a truck driver for about 28 years. I've had about 15 different CDL jobs covering a lot of different things, from a pneumatic driver, a fuel hauler, a little bit of reefer before Walmart, but flatbed, dry van, doubles. And so I've been at Walmart a little more than 3 years. I'm a driver ambassador and a mentor. I have not done a lot of mentoring, only because I've kind of put more of my efforts into my ambassadorship with the stores. So I live about 35 miles from the Palestine, Texas, DC. And I'm hoping you guys will have questions for me that I can continue to answer. And if I don't get any questions, I just got a lot of stuff to talk about. Hopefully it won't be too boring. But one of the things I want to talk about is the current state of the economy. So hold on a second. Apply Johnstown, okay. Oh, let's see here. Oh, by the way, if you guys have watched any of my videos, I want to let you know you can always contact me privately via email. That email doesn't go anywhere else but to me. And that's the John Grazer 36395 at Gmail. So we can pick up a conversation in person, in private. I find as I do this channel, there's a lot of answers I don't have, but I'll do the best I can to help you out. And the other thing, being in the middle of the country, things are really quite a bit different up on the East Coast and on the West Coast. So let me see. I'm just trying to understand the question here. Well, tractor driver, if you want, you could send me an email and we can check it out from there. I just want to let you know that. But one of the things in trucking right now, we've got owner operators, with like Landstar helping us out, and we use them as needed through the busy seasons and peak and everything. But right now, I tell you what, I wouldn't be interested in being an owner operator right now with the current state of affairs. I have one friend that's an independent currently, and he says it's pretty rough out there. One thing I want to share about the economy is, we've been short of power units, tractors, since I started a little more than 3 years ago. And they were keeping my 16 model Peterbilt around. We just retired it. It had over 900,000 miles because we couldn't get enough new trucks in. And Walmart, from what I've been told, now leases the trucks. My 16 model that I had, we owned. So they would just keep running it out and running it out. But when they started getting the new trucks in, or actually, they couldn't get enough new trucks, so they had to keep running the old ones. That's what I meant to say. And we have had a boatload of new trucks coming in lately. So what that's telling me about the economy is that the manufacturers have caught up big time. I don't know what the numbers are. I'm just guessing 50 to 75 trucks in the last 2 months at our one DC. That's just a guess. I don't know. I just see new trucks here, new trucks there. It's like, my gosh, they're coming in like hotcakes. But and they're retiring the 16s right now. I think they're starting to retire some of the 18s. It's hard to say. It depends on a lot of factors. And let's face it, I don't work in the shop. I'm a truck driver. So like I said, they've got that caught up, and Walmart's still on a growth trajectory. We're still short of trucks. I want to make a comment about my old truck. I got a message from one of our office managers, sent me a text message saying, "Hey, John, we're decommissioning your truck. Here's your new truck number." And I was like, "Ooh!" I've been holding out for another Peterbilt. Okay, I've owned a Kenworth and I've owned a Peterbilt in the past. I've worked at a Peterbilt shop. I'm partial to PACCAR products. I just like them, and we don't have any Kenworths at the Palestine office, so my option was a Peterbilt. And I was holding out because, man, they're a pretty truck. Although we have been removing the skirting because they hang very low. And apparently what the game plan is, we'll remove the skirting, we'll run the trucks out the 4 or 5 years, and then we'll put the skirting and the lower front balance back on. They'll be like brand new when we go to turn them in. Also, the new trucks, I've noticed they're coming in with the white front bumpers and white side fairings versus the dark gray plastic. But I want to tell you a little story. So I called the shop when I got this truck number on my phone. I'm like, okay, hey, I called my friends at the shop. I said, "Hey, what kind of truck is this?" He's like, "What's truck number?" I gave it to him, and he said, "Well, I think that's a Peterbilt." And I'm like, "Oh, yes." Well, I want to tell you something. I came to work Friday morning, just driving around the back lot where all the trucks were lined up down the middle alley of the wide parking. And I'm looking at the truck numbers and I'm like, oh man, this number's not even close in the sequence, the numerical sequence. And I got down to the end and I'm like, because I was seeing a lot of Freightliners there. And I was like, oh man, there's still a chance. I come around the corner and all of a sudden, oh, geez, there it is. Dang gumbit. It's a brand new quesadilla. And I'm like, oh, it's parked a few spots over from my normal parking spot. So, like I said, I'm kind of a gearhead, automotive enthusiast. I really wanted a Peterbilt, but Walmart doesn't really look at the trucks like, oh, you're a Mustang kind of guy, you're a Camaro kind of guy. They just look at it like, hey, here's your new computer printer. Hope you enjoy it. So it's just one of those things. Make the best of it. I've never driven any. We got the new International LTs. I've never driven one. I know a lot of people like the Freightliners. Haven't heard that much about the corn binders, but I was holding on for a new Pete. And so one of the most annoying things about the Freightliner is all the darn noises, the bells and whistles and the lights, blinking and flashing, flashing and blinking. I feel like William Shatner on that comedy Airplane movie when he was up in the air traffic control tower. But I don't know. So it's the first brand new truck that I've had in my 28 years of driving. In celebration, I decided I would put some chrome lipstick on that truck. But that's another story. There's only 4 threads past the lug nut on the front wheel studs. So I'm either gonna have to go with some Alcoa Hug-a-Lugs or modify the regular lug nuts to get the hubcaps to fit on there. And I've already had to change to a different style, but we can talk more about that later. In another video, I'm going to talk about the modifications that you can do to your Walmart truck. It's not real extensive, but some of it might surprise you. Um, just seeing nobody's got any more comments here. And I don't know. I want to tell you, before I came to Walmart, I've got some comments here. Just so you guys know, you watch my videos. I really believe in the company. It's been a good decision for me. It's not a fit for everybody. I understand that. That's why there's more than one place to work. But I want to tell you about the last place I was working in, some signs why you may want to think about quitting your current trucking job. And these are based on real things just 3 years ago. Talk is cheap. And they say, oh, yeah, we got an order of 50 new trailers coming in. Okay. And oh, yeah, and we got 25 new trucks coming in. Uh-huh. And the months go by and they're not showing up. You're like, hey, where's those new trucks, new trailers that, this company had 200. So to have new equipment coming in on a steady basis is normal. But yeah, new equipment actually arriving on the yard, not just trucks dropped off from a dealership for you to look at and go like, oh, what are you guys getting these for? The company has maybe 5 to 6 locations, maybe more, and they're closing yards, but not opening any new yards. That's one thing. Here's a good one. You have one of the managers was an employed adult child of one of the senior executives. So he was, already has leg up through the chain of command, and he leaves to go work at another trucking company, kind of a sister company. But when you get the children of senior executives leaving the same company that their dad works at to go work at another company, kind of weird, especially when there was no friction going on that anybody knew about. Your new CEO has a habit of being a job cutter at prior companies that the CEO used to work at, a job slasher. How about this? Get a new payroll system. And you're like, hey, I got my new check amount, but where's the settlement sheet saying what I got paid for? It's like, how did that happen? How did you not have settlement sheets for a driver showing how your pay was broke down? That's because you weren't supposed to be here. You mucked up the plans. So that's a big sign. Payroll system that doesn't have the right layout for that. Company says there's no loads. And you're sitting in the yard. You're sitting in a yard that's 40, 80, 100 acres, and it says no freight. But you see an endless amount of other companies pulling freight out of your yard. But you're sitting up there by the building going, yeah, there's no freight here. What do you mean there's no freight here? I'm seeing freight. It's right there on that outside carrier driving right out the drive. Another empty comes in, taking, oh, there's more of the freight right there leaving. What do you mean there's no freight? We're left sitting while they're establishing relationships with these outside companies. Farming out certain labors and tasks, especially manufacturing tasks, to other companies. The last company I was with, I don't think I'm going to get into the name, but they're a large manufacturing company in Dallas, and they did a lot of their manufacturing in-house. I was working for the trucking transportation side of the company, and they started farming out some of the work to outside companies. Um, and that was just kind of weird. Like, why are they doing this? You have everything. You've been doing this for years. Why are you having them do it now? There was a reason. Okay, here's another one. How about splitting the company into two? Um, Literally another branch and shoving off a whole huge percentage of the business and having a tax, not a tax, a stock split. How about this? Mechanics quitting their jobs in the shop and never getting replaced, especially when they didn't have enough mechanics to begin with. Um, and now they're shorthanded, and the guys that are there are overwhelmed again, dogged big time. Not ordering new equipment. This flatbed company, not ordering new straps and binders and everything, or tarps, and it's just like, what's going on here? Everything had the signs that everything was pulling back in, but the company's still out there, by the way. But they got rid of the trucking side of things. New lavish office buildings, like in downtown Dallas, that you're going to rent instead of the building you already own that is plenty big. It's one of those big buildings in downtown Dallas. I don't know technically downtown, but in that, down near the cluster, down in the gauntlet down there, it's nearby. No effort to build your customer base. No new customers. Okay, we got something else here. Jeremiah. Hey, John, I'm going to Dover, Delaware for onboarding a couple weeks. Wonderful. Couple of, I'm assuming you've watched my videos, kind of giving you they're not perfect, but they're going to help you get the right mindset about it. It's a grocery DC in Sutherland, Virginia. Just curious if you know how far grocery drivers travel. Okay, if you're being hired on for Walmart, I don't know if you can answer this on here or not, but are you being hired as an over-the-road driver or a local day cab driver home every day? Because that has a major difference there. We've got the Cleburne grocery DC. It's southwest of Fort Worth, Texas. Yeah, over the road. Okay, so I don't know how it's going to work at your terminal there, but a lot of times the over-the-road guys are run on the longer runs. Now, again, I've only worked out of my region too, which is the center part of the country here, south central part of the U.S. I think the farthest away from my DC I've gone is 600 miles. I'm not saying you can't go farther. I did remember hearing about some drivers in Sanger going out to Colorado, which really, because the farthest I've been from here is El Paso, Las Cruces, New Mexico, and Albuquerque, up in that neck of the woods and I don't know the distance to Colorado, where they went in Colorado, but I heard from a friend that a friend of his went from Sanger out to Colorado to help out. And the farthest east I've gone, I think it was Memphis, Tennessee, was the farthest east I've gone. And like I said, I think that's, my gosh, if that's even, I know the run wasn't, I can't remember where I started out, but I would say we operate generally within 600 miles. Not to say it can't be farther, but when you are on your work schedule, you've got to be back. That truck, now, groceries is a little different. In Cleburne, the over-the-road guys, they got a sleeper truck, but they've been kind of running into the city just like all the day cabs. One thing I do know, the guys that I've talked with, they haven't been slip seating out there at the Cleburne DC. They've been assigned their trucks, and they've never had another person use them, and that's been since springtime. I, on my new Freightliner Quesadilla, have had somebody in it every time I'm on my days off for the last month. Somebody's been in it every time, which that's fine. I don't own the truck. It's just that my old Peterbilt, I could go months and months with nobody touching it. I don't know why they like the new truck, but well, the old one was a manual shift also, 10 speed. So I don't know. I don't really worry about that. But so, and Jeremiah, I don't know if you've ever sent an email in. I don't know anything more about than what I said. That typically we stay within 600 miles. That's not a steadfast rule. You could be farther, but being as you're more on the East Coast, it's probably going to be less. I just because of the proximity to everything. Oh, you know what? I want to share with you also that I see that the live unloads is common. I want to break away for a minute here because I don't have another question yet, but this will give me somewhere to go with. If you guys watched, I thought I had it here. Okay, of course I can't find it in my notes. Oh, part 3. I did a detailed pay breakdown. Now, Jeremiah, you may want to watch it. It was a few years ago, about 2 years ago. And I said in the video, if I remember right, that I was going to refresh the detailed pay breakdown for each year that came up and went year over year. Well, I missed out on it last year. But I just got done yesterday. Now, I'm just going to show this here. Cheesy here, but okay. This sheet may look familiar if you look at that part 3 video. Well, I'm getting ready to make another one with the current data from the last, well, 2021, 22, and 23. So I'm going to go over in detail the numbers here and show you how that ends up. But one of the things I wanted to point out is that with grocery, you're typically going to be doing more additional stops and more live unloads. I tell you what, though, the ratio of the numbers can really be pretty good, though. I know one guy. I'm not going to get into names or anything, but he's doing close to $5,000. I think he said on each check. He's not the only one, but he knows how to work. He knows how to get it done, and he is on the night run, so he's doing meat and produce. And but he's doing good money. You know, some weeks are going to be lower, other weeks are better. But I want to let you know that that's interesting. I'm also curious, Jeremiah, if did that DC, did they transition from another like major carrier like a Schneider, a US Express, a Martin, a Crete, or have they been a Walmart as a primary the fleet private fleet deliveries on the grocery? Because the Cleburne DC was a transition. It used to be a major fleet carrier up until like April, I think it was, and that's when Walmart transitioned it to a total private fleet. We may still have people helping us out, but it's primarily Walmart drivers now doing 95% or more of the work. And just wanted to let you know that. Or I was kind of curious about that. Let me see here. That's something I want to get into later. So getting back, just to wrap this up, there are signs. Okay, I don't only okay for ET is very helpful. Okay, that's good. Hey, I want to tell you, Jeremiah, I don't know if that's the name. That doesn't look familiar to me, but I've got. Oh, this is so tacky. I don't have any live streaming software, so this is just using the native YouTube app. But whoops, wrong one. I want to show you. I did come up. Did I give you the version 3.0? It's got the new boxes there, and I just changed it up a little bit. Oh, yeah. Well, basically, I want to know if you got this. If you don't have it, let me know, and I can send this out to you. But if I already sent it, I probably got it for you. But I didn't do a video on this one yet. So let's see. Just put that one to rest there. Okay, we talked about the current state of the economy. It's a rough spot to be in right now. Rates are kind of going in the toilet. Let's put that baby to rest right now. One thing I want to show you guys, and I'll be anxious to do this new detailed pay breakdown. I had to change the format a little bit just so you don't get so mired in and buried in all these numbers, but I'm going to try to go through it like I did the first one. I just eliminated some of the data just to clean it up because we got 3 years of data now versus the 1 year, which I really went into a lot of detail on. But what I want to do. So I want to tell you this trip record and ETD calculator. I really enjoy this and I use it every day. Now, what I wanted to show you, which I don't know where I went with it. Okay, so I use one of these every day. Every day keeps a record of everything. If the computer system goes down, you're going to be thankful you got that information. So at the end of the week, at the end of the 2-week pay period, because we get paid 26 paychecks a year, I keep this sheet. Now, I've got to redo this because it's just, I don't like it. It barely fits on the paper, but it's every day I worked. And at the end of 2 weeks, I go and check a mark. I go and reconcile my pay on a computer. You can do it on your tablet or a PC, even your phone, I guess, but I never ever try that. When you go on the computer and I go and verify all of the start times, end times, all of your arrive drops, your hooks, your live unloads, your breakdown, your scheduled, your unscheduled, your miles, the odometer. I verify all that on here. And then I'll show you. I'm going to keep it at a distance because I didn't ghost anything out. But at a distance, this is 1 year. I'm going to go to the final number here. Final end of year. We'll go back. I got my trip records. And then I got my 2 weeks of all of the data from the trip records. And then I print the paycheck. And this is what I put into a spreadsheet. I'm not going to get into that because, my gosh, the spreadsheets, they can, some of you guys know how to do them, some don't. I'm adequate at it. But I just want to let you know that we've got the new numbers. I've got to get this out to you guys. I could even share it, I guess, in an email. I don't see any reason why not. If I'm putting it on the interweb, I suppose there's no reason I can't share this in an email to you if you want to take a look at it. But just trying to see here. Okay, you get down one. So Jeremiah, you're one of the active in the chat here. I appreciate it. I want to thank you very much. I kind of was worried if I was going to be talking to myself here. But that's my biggest one, getting that right. Yeah, the ETDs, you'll get it right. I'm gonna even narrow down this new sheet and focus on this. I'm not sure if they've been privately okay the whole time. I told I mean okay. Now that's an interesting point you brought up there. When they brought the guys in Cleburne, I tell you what, it's been a rough ride. I just talked with somebody in the office here this past week. I said it's been a rough ride, but things are improving tremendously and things are coming together over there. But it was a real rough transition, at least from a mentor's point of view. I had my guys when they came on, the guys I was mentoring out there, they were starting on a day shift for training. That's the way it was set up. And even after one of them got released, he liked being on day shift. And Walmart has a bid sheet. Now, we're non-union. Now, by the way, I think, but I would not stake my life on it, that the whole entire company is non-union. I really don't know how things work on the East and West Coast. There's different things that go on out there, but in the rest of the country, at least the middle of the country, they're non-union. But we do have a bid sheet, and once a year, drivers submit their choices. They numerically order them. Let me go to a bid sheet here because I can tell you what it's got on there, first of all. Sorry. Okay. So on a bid sheet, the first thing you're going to look at is what kind of schedule you would like to be on. Whether you want to be on, oh boy, I had another sheet here with the different schedules. Well, basically, I can summarize for you. The most common schedule for new drivers is a 5-2-5-3, where you work 5 days, you're off two. You work 5 days and you're off three. Your day off will move one day every 2 weeks. So you have a rotating schedule, and guys that want weekends off will eventually have weekends. Um, you'll have one weekend day to start, and then the next what is it? The following week you'll have like, let's say, first one you have like Friday, Saturday off. Then the next time it cycles, you'll have a, a Saturday and Sunday off, and then the next cycle you'll have a Sunday and Monday off. So you'll have a 3 weeks where you'll have at least one of the weekend days off. But that's real common. People like that. The most common shift though is a 5-2-5-3, where you work 5 days and you're off two, and you have the same days every week. That's what I have. I'm a Friday out, and I have Wednesday and Thursday off every week, unless I take other days off. But that's the schedule. And so let me go back to this bid sheet. So you choose what kind of now you're only going to be given certain options. Okay, Jeremiah, you said you have 5 2-hour weekends. That's great because you get the extra income from working weekends. And on this sheet, you know, working weekends paid me, well, it varied between almost $2,600 up to 3,200 for working weekends, an extra 7 cents per mile. Now, I work every weekend, so I I may be wrong in this, guys, but I thought I heard some like you have to work both days on the weekend, get the weekend premium, 7 cents per mile. My schedule starts on Friday and goes through Tuesday, so I automatically have both. But I don't know if that's true or not, only because I keep forgetting to ask somebody, but I've been told that you have to work both Saturday and Sunday to get the weekend mileage premium. Um, and I just wanted to state that for the record here. 5 2 work weekends, 5 total weekends, more money. Yep. Okay. Okay. AG, I appreciate that. And it's something I never thought about, but it is, I count on it all the time. The other thing I wanted to point out for the guys, when you're on a 5-2 schedule, I'll get back to more on that, your other one we had, but on the 5-2, you're only going to be sleeping in the truck 4 nights a week. So you're going to be in your own bed for, okay, text me. Okay, AG, I appreciate that. I got my phone turned off because I can. This guy is a real good unitasker, one thing at a time. I just don't have, I got a 286 processor up here. So bear with me. I'm just going to roll with the punches the best I can here. Um, so uh, your 4 nights per week in the truck, if you're on a 5 day schedule, that's an extra $8,000. People don't realize if you're getting in a day cab, you're not going to see that. And you're going to have the extra fuel going to and from work. And that $8,000 is that man's car payment. um, let's see here. Okay, I was going to talk to them about. I'm trying to remember what it was about that grocery. Yeah, so I really have no idea your service area out of that DC. I just have no idea. You might want to throw it in on one of the videos. Maybe somebody can respond back. I just don't know the answer to that. Um, you know, with the live unloads, I can get in to talk about that more with the grocery. If you're pulling a refrigerated load, I want to tell you, share some also. The refrigerated vans that we have at the grocery DCs that are assigned there, they have 3 temperature zones. They got the nose, you got the middle, and you got the rear. Here. You got the nose, the middle, and the rear. And they've got the air conditioner, units in the front, They've got double units in the center section for the frozen section. So the front is now it can freeze the whole thing, but generally when you're doing a lot of refrigerated loads, the front will be refrigerated, the middle will be frozen. Now this is for frozen dairy deli. We also haul meat and produce it on the nighttime shift, and the rear will be refrigerated. Single, and they're rooftop mounted, cooler units. Before I came to work here, I've only experienced a single temp. I mean, we're talking back in the 90s when I was driving my first reefer loads. And I was like, how in the I came here and I'm like, how in the heck can you have three different compartments in there? Because I knew a standard refrigerated van, one temp, with the chute through the middle, that vinyl air chute, and the vented floor where you have the vents. Our floors are aluminum. They're not vented in the floor. Well, not most of them. So they've got, about a third of the way through, they've got doors they're like filled with some sort of rigid foam, and they're vinyl coated on the outside, and they got straps and buckles on them, and they're on tracks that slide in the roof. So, okay, you got a multi-temp. Okay, so I don't know where you're working now, but that's interesting. I just never knew they existed till I came here, because on the exterior, you just see the one unit on the front. You're like, how can you have three temps in there? So I thought it was kind of cool. And with Walmart, generally speaking, you're going to have two or three, maybe even four stops. I was just doing this last week, and you'll have some of your stores refrigerated on the back, and a few of the pallets will be in the frozen. So you may have to offload some of the pallets for the second stop to get access in the frozen to grab those pallets, pull them out, close the doors, put the other ones back in. It's not too bad. The stores are really good. They know how to do this. Remember, I have a hard time keeping up to get the doors out of their way and stuff. And then you may have a split, but generally 2 or 3 loads is real common in the refrigerated van. Your dry vans, now I don't know your DC if they have dry vans. Or Cleburne has frozen and dry van freight. But the dry vans, they may or may not be a drop-in hook. It depends what kind of store you're going to. If it's got separate GM and grocery docks, or if they're a combined dock, it'll vary on which door you got to go to and whether or not they have a drop trailer privilege. Yeah, stores have, some of them have privilege and some of them don't. So I just wanted to, surprised that you pull that already, a 53-foot multi-temp. Now, we do, let's see, to make sure the store doesn't offload. No, that's going to be your job. Oh man, I wonder if this will work. I want to show you here. The company is in the process of going paperless. Okay. Now, they did this at the Cleburne DC. But when they said they were going to go paperless, they haven't done it for the other half of the company, the store. I'm going to go into my phone. I'm going to show you something here. So, let me give a good example. So, your load map's going to be on the tablet in the truck. You can take the tablet in with you. I prefer not to, because they're real slippery in your hands. They don't have a handle on them, and I'm not going to break the $1,000 tablet. I'll take my own device, and which I can put in my pocket, but I don't know if you can see this or not. Let me just pick one here. I take pictures. Here we go. I take pictures of the labels. And let's see. Well, hold on. How long do you have to wait until Walmart calls me? Okay, sir, I'm going to have to. I don't know the answer to that. I don't know. I think I remember seeing some comments from you in the past in the thing there, and I just, if you want to get a hold of me, I can try to answer that, but without any more information, I don't know how to answer that for you. I don't know when they contacted you. So, but Jeremiah, I'm sorry, Jeremiah. I take a picture of every tag that comes off the truck, and I'm purposely looking at it while I'm taking the picture so I know everything that came off of the truck and to keep track of it because it only took me one time to go to the next store and I realized I had pallets. So the first stop in front of or behind, however you want to word it, behind the pallets for the next that were hidden behind there. So now I actually have taken more of a role to count them. I use my phone. It's quicker and easier. Film is cheap these days, if you get my drift. And you can delete them if you want, but I kind of take a lot of pictures of a lot of stuff. I take pictures of the seals. I take pictures of the tags, so every tag that comes off the truck, and any things that was wrong, like pallets with multiple stores on the same pallet. They're not supposed to be that way. I went to the store last week, and their electric pallet jack forklift was broken. So they had to hand unload the upper pallet. It's not supposed to be that way. Plus, if somebody wasn't paying attention, you would take that pallet and they'd see their number on it and leave it. And now you just took the freight from one store and gave it to that store. So when they were going paperless, the whole goal was that their devices would have the new software and they go bleep. And then it tells them that pallet's theirs or it's not theirs. I don't know what that's going to look like because there's only been one store I went to that actually has the electronic, was it TCs they have? They got some transcorders or whatever's they had. Now they're going to phones, but they could literally scan the barcode. There are some stores that are also a .com fulfillment center. So you may go to a super center and they may have two locations in that store for freight. One may be going to the store warehouse and the other freight may be going to the .com facility within that super center. And that was one of the trial ones. So I have experienced the paperless from the grocery DC all the way to the store, but 95 to 98% of the stores do not have the paperless on the store end. Neighborhood markets, they're always a live unload. Neighborhood markets they're not drop store for GM freight or the grocery. They're always a live unload. And they peel each sticker off every pallet and put it on their sheet of paper. The neighborhood markets are much, much, much better about making sure they're getting the right product. The only time it gets screwed up is the DC forgot to put the tag on, or they put extra tags on, or they got them turned toward the wall or the backside. It gets it a little bit trickier, but it's not too bad. Trying to see what else. So one thing I'm kind of looking to, okay, I've got my co-pilot right here with me. Does that mean there's actually 8 people logged in right now? Okay. Just kind of curious, guys. Yeah, just well, let's see what else could we go on to. So I just got some random stuff I'm going to share with you guys here. You guys can ask me any questions you got. I kind of didn't know wanted you guys to take the lead. Now, hello, Seymour, Indiana there, Big B. Isn't that a New Mexico flag there? Or am I imagining that? It's pretty colorful, but when I was in the Air Force, I was in New Mexico and I remember it having something like that. Maybe I'm imagining. I'm getting old, That's what I'm running. I'm gonna claim that oh, okay. I knew some looked familiar out there, but Carlos Pena. Hey, Carlos, how you doing? Glad to see you here. Hey, if I'm screwing up, you chime in and let me know. I'm going to try to catch it. So I got my co-pilot here helping me catch the text there, but glad to have you here. And Carlos, how long have you been with Walmart? If you don't mind sharing. I appreciate the good comment there. 2 year. Okay, okay, great. So just you're less than me. I tell you what, guys, I never thought I'm actually very surprised. Walmart's the largest company in the world. I cannot believe how well it runs. And I've mentioned this to people I talk to. It's a lot like the military. You've got, but without the UCMJ. Okay, well, on AG, since Walmart employees are introducing themselves, I will too. I'm the Walmart Agent 3 truck driver. Oh, okay. Oh, Alan, we've talked before on the phone then. I'm glad to see here. I hope I hope I'm doing a good job here. I appreciate it. My nerves are stressing right now, but where was I going with this? Okay, hold on a minute, Jeremy. I've been driving for a local frozen. Okay, grocery is the same line of work as McLean. Okay, now I know McLean even delivers to Walmart. It's backbreaking work. Yeah, you got a lot of lumping of boxes, I believe, right? Well, let me tell you something. You're not going to be handling any freight here. Um, and That's why, okay. I appreciate that, sir. And now they're starting to fly a little fast there. Call Region 6. Yeah, so Carlos, do you guys even get over into El Paso? Or is that, I mean, I know we service it out of Region 2, but I was just curious, do you guys spill over the border or sort of the middle of New Mexico? You guys shut down? Because I know I've gone in New Mexico, but never any farther. And just kind of curious about that. Okay, so getting back to what I was saying about Walmart. Hold on a minute. My board. Okay, let's see. How long does it usually take for invite Walmart family? Thanks for. Um. Okay, so DJ. What? Okay, I'm not gonna try to mispronounce thing, but for Shippensburg, PA. You may want to email me, and I can get back a hold of you there to find out. You should hear something within a week or two. When they put out a hiring, a lot of times they can get behind, but you should hear something within, preferably within a week, but maybe 2 weeks, because there's times in busy areas they'll put out a posting, they'll get flooded. I'm just giving you an example. 400 applications. They have to go through those applications in order to figure out who they're going to contact. And it takes so they'll close that down right away, and they'll start processing them. So I don't know how long, but like I said, you can always contact me through email. And then Carlos, oh, you're out of South Florida. Okay. Oh, reach. Okay, over there. Okay, I get it. I'm getting confused here. Sorry. Um, you can have you cannot have preventable accident within the last 10-year hits. If you have one of those, you probably won't get called till after. Okay, I think AG was answering for trucker up there. I think I'm not positive, but yeah. So getting back to what I was saying, I'm going to try to fit this in the middle. How about a reckless in 20? Um, Big B. Yeah, I'm thinking that reckless. If it's any time within the last 10, this is only a guess. I am not a recruiter. I do not work in HR. I have no influence over who actually gets hired or how the applications get looked at. As a matter of fact, they cannot discuss anything about an applicant with me. The only contact I have is if a driver has used me as a referral driver. They can confirm that you work here or don't work here and things like that. So, what a reckless driver, honestly, if it's a DOT. Yeah, that sounds pretty much right. Yeah, things like that are going to be pretty rough. And like I said, I'm so sorry. But like I said, keep your eye open on in the future. You never know what things going to change in the future. Big B's answering there. If it wasn't a commercial, is that what you meant by DOT? Oh, what did I say? I don't remember what. Oh. He says if it's a DOT recordable accident, you won't qualify. That's what AG was saying. Yeah, pretty much a commercial motor vehicle. I'm not a safety man. I've been very fortunate, but they would know more of the requirements of the DOT recordable. I think you can look that up in the green book too. I just don't have that on top of my head right now. I'd be guessing to get into it. Guys, I'm out of my comfort zone right now, and even that I don't really know the details of what qualifies and doesn't qualify. Again, that is for people that get paid to do that part. I just know you got to have a pretty clean record. Even a major violation like over 15 miles per hour over the speed limit, major violation. Even if you're in your car, that's going to preclude you from getting hired by Walmart. You have to have a pretty good record, and depending how far back stuff is in the system, it's really iffy because these insurance companies keep databases of information going way back. We just look at it like okay. Oh, Alan. Okay, I forgot. He's helping out. Man, see, I tell you guys, I'm a little slow, but chuckle from the War Department here. Thank you, sir, for chiming in there. I didn't know. Well, AG, I don't know if you can help out as far as the non-DOT. That's just getting too complicated for me to get an answer. And besides that, even if I did have an answer, I'm not really in my place to be stating what qualifies or doesn't. It's only a guess on my behalf. Talking about Walmart, a lot of people say, "Oh, I don't want to be just a number." Well, let me tell you something. I don't care where you're working, unless there's only 2 or 3 trucks. If you're working for any sizable company, you're going to be a number until they start to know who you are, and that takes a little bit of time. But eventually, now, if you go in my office, other than drivers, because we've got like 350 of them, other than driver, everybody in the office knows who I am. A lot of them even know my driver number off the top of their head. I'm always surprised when they try to remember. I'm like, okay, you're trying to remember 350 drivers' names. I would never expect that of them, but sometimes they do. And I tell you what, okay, getting back to what I was saying about Walmart. So people move around. That's what I was trying to get to 10 minutes ago. So people in the offices, when they look at promotions, they're usually not going to limit themselves to just staying at their DC. They're willing to move to another part of the country. Now, family matters may have a bearing. You may have family in another part of the country and the opportunity comes up, they may take it. You have people moving around within the company, in the warehousing, in the transportation office, in the AP office, asset protection, or environmental health and safety, whatever terminology they're going by today. It's changed names a few times, but asset protection. There are the people you see at the gate. There are the people at the front door issuing badges and letting people giving people access to the building. Like contractors are doing repair. These buildings, they are so large and so complicated. They are constantly under upgrades. Mechanical systems, electrics, the electrical wiring, technology, the bathrooms. During the 3 years I've been there, you'll see remodels happen depending on what the situation is. You'll see remodels happening every few years. Like right now, I noticed they were repainting. Well, the bathroom's only been in there a year or two and they're already repainting. A lot of moisture and humidity in the shower rooms. So, yeah. And just so you know, at the grocery DCs, not all of them, well, my gosh, maybe most of them have a private, just like a truck stop, toilet, sink, shower, a totally private shower room. Whereas most of the GM, and I'm not saying this is all of them, but in most of the GMs have, I'll call it a common shower area. Toilets will be around the wall on one side, and the showers will be down that section, but they're not closed off with a separate door, and they'll have curtains and a dry area and a wet area, and you know, okay, driver can become okay, Carlos. So asking about driver ambassadors and mentors, CDTs, you have to be employed a minimum of 1 year before you're eligible to be a driver ambassador, a mentor. The CDTs might require more time, but I know a minimum of 1 year before you take on additional duties. Um, the driver ambassador, some people are probably wondering, well, what is that? Well, I am kind of a liaison as far as transportation is concerned between the store managers and the store associates and the DC. I have 11 stores. Most of mine are in the Tyler, Texas area, and I have some getting up more toward I-20, and then Cedar Hill, which is just south of Dallas. Um, so it's my job to make sure that the signage is right out at the stores. A lot of times I have to do the stenciling of the store numbers on the concrete out there. Um, Trash in the pits. I've got to, kind of get with the managers and try to resolve opportunities that need to be improved upon. It also is a place for the store to ask, why are drivers doing this? Why are drivers parking that there? Why do they do that? Or, oh, this driver, he was mean when he came in here. It's I'm at a loss for words here. Basically, it's a liaison. Now, when there's freight that's tipped over and damaged in a trailer, a lot of times these store managers don't realize the driver may have had no control over it. That may have been tipped over when the yard switcher backed out and hit the brakes and dumped it because the trailer, and the yard dog, the yard switcher, the trailer guy, and the trailer's like this. And they come around the corner and hit the brakes and everything tips over and leaning against the door. You know, yeah, they're not happy about that or the mess it creates, but I can report that stuff and forward it to the transportation, excuse me, I'm sorry, the shipping office. Remember, the drivers work in transportation. That building, oh, we are getting close to the end here. Okay. In that DC, you have on the other side of that wall is what the warehousing and shipping side of things. It's a whole nother world on the other side of that wall. Transportation has to do, and we hook on a trailer from that point. We never, by the way, we never pull doors, trailers off of the door in the building. They're always pulled out into the yard by a switcher, and then we get assigned to it. We got to go find it, and then we haul it to the store. We never ever see the inside of those trailers before we get to the store. And if it's a drop and hook, we never see the inside. But if it's a live unload, then we'll get to see the inside. Or sometimes they'll send pictures. Some of my store people send pictures saying, "Hey, John, here's the trailer number. Look what happened." Let me just see here. Okay, I understand. Okay, we are down to 1 minute left, less than 1 minute. Carlos, like I said, we can talk more about that later. There's a lot of passion that has to go into the ambassadorship and the mentorship, and likewise for a CDT. The CDT is getting into an area that has a lot more to it, and I just want to just leave it there. And I I got my coach here, guys. I do want to thank you. I'm so glad I had somebody show up because it was going to be really difficult for me to just ramble on endlessly. And let me know what you think. Subscribe to my channel. The thumbs up. I really want to we hit the 1 hour mark, guys. So this will be re-aired. I hope it works out. And Jeremiah, thank you again. Everybody have a good night. Happy New Year. Happy New Year, everybody. Stay safe. And we'll see you later.